to my channel, the name's Jaleesa. That's me, I'm Jaleesa. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I think that I enjoyed pretty much all the books except for like maybe one, give or take, that I didn't enjoy, but I had a really great reading month, so stay tuned for those books. Also, if you don't already follow me on Twitter, you totally should because I'm a lot of fun and I'm super interactive. Follow me at the name's Jaleesa. Also, I have a Bookstagram account which I'm on there at least once a week, and that's also at the name's Jaleesa, so there you have that. So let's just get right into the books that I read, the ratings, the reviews, all that good stuff. So many of you have watched my review for this book already. I'm not gonna go in depth in this book because I could rant for a while. That's not the energy I'm bringing to this particular video. So the first book I read in October was the sequel to Crave, which is Crush by Tracy Wolff. Just a quick little backstory. It is a continuation of Grace's story, and she's back at Catmere Academy. She finds out she's a gargoyle. In this book, she really just encounters different scenarios while trying to find all these different magical items to free Hudson from her body. If you like vampires, if you like other mythical creatures, if you like boarding schools, maybe give this series a try. In a nutshell, I didn't like it. I don't feel like it continued the story well. I feel like it was a completely different storyline that really didn't connect that well with book number one. The writing style isn't for me. The book wasn't for me. However, the book may be for somebody else. Obviously, people like the book, so it is paranormal, so if you enjoy paranormal romances and YA, give it a try, maybe you'll like it. I rate this book a 1 out of 5 stars, which I rarely give books 1 star, so that should tell you something. The next 2 books that I read come from a series that came out way back in 2007, so like ancient times. I was like 11 when this series came out, but I wasn't reading these kind of books at that age. I was reading more of friendship themed books at the age of 11. The series is The Vampire Academy. So this series follows Rose and Lissa. They're best friends, and Lissa is a vampire. Rose is her guardian, or her soon-to-be guardian. So really this book just follows Rose and Lissa and their return back to the academy, and Lissa has this unknown power where she's able to bring things back from the dead, and so we just kind of follow the story of Lissa and how that power, and when she uses it, how it affects her mind, her body, her friendships, her relationship. Rose has to now really watch out for Lissa. Not a lot goes on in this first one. Action wise, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I just wasn't wowed by the first one, but also it's 2020. This book came out in 2007, so obviously it's not like the best written book in the whole world. But so the next book obviously is the second book in this series, and it's called Frostbite. This one kind of introduces a new group of people who are kind of out to harm all of the royal families, and so but the Strigoi are attacking the Mirai, and it just follows Rose trying to protect Lissa, and it also kind of shows the growth that Rose is going to have to go through to really be a true guardian for her best friend. But I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Again, I wasn't wowed by the second book. The next book that I read is Truth or Dare by Danielle Allen. This book follows this group of friends from college. 2 of the friends in this friend were getting married, and they're having a destination wedding, I believe in Punta Cana. I can't remember exactly where. Then you have Simone and Kingston, who were like best friends. They never dated, but they were also in this friend group. Kingston and Simone see each other for the first time in a long time, and they're just kind of like in shock because they think they both look good. There's conflict in this book. However, the conflict is not between Simone and Kingston, which I adore. I'm so glad. The conflict comes from an outside source that threatens the relationship between Kingston and Simone that's currently building up. I loved it. Okay, this next book that I read is the one and only Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Follows this girl, Bree, whose mother recently died, and Bree actually goes to this early college program at UNC Chapel Hill, and on her first night there, she witnesses this really weird attack from like some kind of magical animal, but she's not sure what it is exactly that she saw. And so she ends up befriending this guy Nick, and she and Nick both infiltrate the Order, which really is just a secret society that is full of King Arthur's his knights descendants. So in this book there's a lot of different elements that go into it because it is a fantasy book. It also follows the King Arthur legend, but also it incorporates slavery and a different type of magic called root work. So in general, I loved the story. I liked the direction it was going in. In the beginning, you know, you're kind of thrown into all of this stuff, and then it just falls to the wayside for a good while. There is a whole part of this book that talks about root work and slavery. There are these scenes, like these journey scenes, if you read the book you know what I'm talking about, that I felt empowered by them. I felt lonely from them. I felt in love with them. I mean, it was just so beautiful. It was artwork. I mean, the last third of this book is beautiful. It's art. Overall book was good. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, so it's still the rating. The next book that I read was Sweet on You by Carla de Guzman. I love this story so much. So this is definitely a rivals to lovers, I would say. So this book follows Gabriel and Sari. Gabriel owns a bakery bakery and Sari owns a coffee shop. Sari has been in her coffee shop for years. Gabriel is new to town. He moves next door and it becomes this competition between the two of them. They make these pranks. People record them and it's going viral. The characters in this book are definitely polar opposites. You have Gabriel, who is a sweet, soft character. Then you have Sari, who is, she's very tough, you know, she's a tough woman, she's strong. Gabriel is really focused on his bakery and it being successful because he's trying to prove to his father that he can do this. And then you have Sari, who is really dependent on her sisters and she's trying to get into a place where she can be okay without them, and so they're both dealing with outside challenges. This is definitely a very slow burn book. I love the two of them. I just love the way the families were incorporated in this book and this story. I thought it was a perfect Christmas story, so I definitely gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And last but certainly not least, the last book that I read was Super Fake Love Song by Yoon. This book follows Sunny Day, and he is the younger brother of a very famous superstar, and this girl that he meets is one of their family friends' daughter, and Sunny ends up pretending to be his brother to impress this girl. Here's the thing, I DNF'd this book at about 25%, and here's why. I had never read a Yoon book for my life. I have read his wife's books and I like them a lot, but I don't know how David's other books are written, but the language in this book was just so hard to get past. I've read books that have terrible writing. I wouldn't say this is even terrible writing, it's just the language that he chose to use to describe the characters. It was just too much for me. In this book, it's set in high school, and so of course you have like your typical hierarchy. You have your jocks, you have your nerds, your geeks, you have your cheerleaders. I think we've moved past having to write books in that way, because you can see that there are people who don't fit this certain idea of what a nerd is supposed to look like or a jock is supposed to seem like. So I didn't like the language, so I couldn't get past it. Too many cliches in there, and it just wasn't funny even to me. Like, I know books can be written in that way and be funny and still enjoyable. For me, it wasn't funny or enjoyable, so I couldn't keep going. So that's that. So I mean, like I said, I had a pretty decent reading month this month, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will see you on my next video. Bye.